Hey everyone, it is Danny and welcome to this update video this morning. I hope that you guys are doing absolutely amazing. And so I'm here with the latest in terms of what is happening for the Caribbean and surrounding areas. There's a tropical wave that will be approaching. The Lesser Antilles comes this weekend, and so we'll be taking a look at what is expected. And before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the bell so that you never miss an important update. Alright, and so as we take a look at this surface chart here, we can see that there are 4 tropical waves noted across the Atlantic basin. One is in the Central Caribbean, one is just offshore of northern South America, northeastern South America, another follows behind it, and another has recently made its way from the coast of Africa. And so we're going to continue to see this trend here every few days. There is a new tropical wave emerging, and they all propagate toward the west. And because we have these above average sea surface temperatures, what we see happening is that they retain a lot of activity, and this is something very much different compared to last year, because last year the tropical waves, they just couldn't sustain any convective activity nor develop. So as we take a look at northern South America right now on these satellite imagery here, we can see that there is a lot of convective activity just in the vicinity of Colombia and offshore in the eastern Pacific, also offshore of Panama. So again, there's that tropical wave in the area, and that's coupled with the monsoon trough is resulting in all of that convective activity, likely a lot of heavy rainfall, especially where we see those shades of purple and even that bright gray. That is where we have a lot of showers and thunderstorms taking place. And so looking across other areas, though most of Venezuela not experiencing much, mostly some cloud cover, possibly with some rainfall at times across Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. And there we see all of that activity in association with the tropical wave. And so as we take a closer look at it, here we can see that there is this cluster of showers and thunderstorms. And so we're not talking about a tropical cyclone here or anything. It is just a tropical wave, but it has all this activity in association with it. And though it is not a tropical cyclone or is expected to be one, sometimes they can do just as much damage as tropical cyclones. So by the end of this week, this is expected to make its way into the Caribbean and enhance the rainfall across the Lesser Antilles. And so let's now go on and take a look at what is happening for most of the Caribbean region here, and we can see that over in the east it remains pretty dry. There are some cloud clusters from the tropical Atlantic coming in from the east, and there's also some cloud cover across sections of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands. So nothing too crazy going on there. And there's also that dry air and dust in association with the Saharan air layer that is extensive across the areas. In the ABC Islands, we're not seeing where there's too much. There was some cloud cover across Curacao and Bonaire, but that is kind of dissipating right now. And then as we take a look at other areas such as Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, most of Cuba, the Bahamas, as well as the Turks and Caicos Islands, and even going over into Central America, there isn't a lot happening for many areas, but we do see that cluster of showers and thunderstorms extended into parts of Nicaragua and Honduras. And so now let's go ahead and move on to the rainfall total maps, and we're starting out with GFS. So as this becomes more colorful, the rainfall expected is higher. So this is as we're going to be heading throughout the rest of today into the very early morning hours of tomorrow. And so we can see that the most rainfall is expected across sections of Central America, as well as Colombia, maybe southern Venezuela, and sections of Guyana. And even offshore, we see some of those purple shades over in the eastern Pacific, as well as over in the tropical Atlantic. Again, that tropical wave is in the area, enhancing a lot of rainfall there. But as we take a look at most Caribbean islands, though, we're seeing that much rainfall is unlikely today. Going up into Florida and the northwestern Bahamas, there could be some rainfall, especially this afternoon when those showers and thunderstorms typically develop. And as I showed you guys, there are those little patches of clouds coming in from the tropical Atlantic, and that can help to enhance maybe some brief showers here and there across sections of the Lesser Antilles. Hence, we see that some rainfall is very well possible within the area. And then as we take a look at the Euro model, you can see that Euro is kind of in agreement with this for the most part, showing less rainfall across the Lesser Antilles though, but showing that there will certainly be a lot of rainfall over in parts of Central America, going to Colombia, southern Venezuela, and even for some spots of Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana as well. And Finally, briefly going on to the Saharan air layer map. So as we see more of those shades of oranges and reds, that is where dry air is in more of an abundance. And as I said, this really helps to suppress development across the Atlantic this time of year. So this is not something uncommon. So if you're in especially the Lesser Antilles or other sections of the Caribbean, you might notice that it is very hazy at times. Now that is the dry air and the dust from the Saharan air, the Sahara deserts in Africa, in association with the Saharan air layer. And so in very large quantities, it can induce some health issues such as skin and eye irritation. So please stay indoors as much as possible, and especially with the heat. It's been very hot these days, so it is best to stay indoors around midday and a couple hours before and after that if you can. And please remember to stay hydrated as you head throughout the day. And so that is pretty much it for right now. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will respond once I get the chance. And remember to always be weatherwise.